if we're talking about additional charges and additional defendants, those are probably two of the more likely. And Christian, of course, was the subject of a civil lawsuit where there was a sexual assault allegation naming him directly. So I think if we're going to cast a bit of a wider net, people are talking about family members, other celebrities, maybe some employees like Christina Forum. But I think the most likely would, I think so. I think obviously they're just civil allegations, and those cases are going to be put on hold while the criminal case plays out. But, there is some smoke there. And obviously, there's a presumption of innocence and there's a lower standard in a civil case. But you have someone who's been named directly as someone who participated in a sexual assault, and everything else has been rumors and speculation. But here you at least have one verified complaint.
And what's interesting about this situation? It's the sexual assault civil allegation filed by Grace O'Marquez. This is against Christian Combs, as you're referring to it. And Diddy is a co-defendant in this case because she says he facilitated it. It was on a yacht that Diddy had rented. But it was Christian, the one who allegedly sexually assaulted her. So how does all of that relate? The fact that we have Diddy, who's also part of this, but it's mostly on Christian in this instance?
Yo, what's up, party people? We're back at it, diving deep into the latest drama around Diddy and his family. This time, things are getting real messy, Justin Combs. Diddy's eldest son is tangled in some serious legal trouble. We're talking about DUIs, lawsuits, and all kinds of rumors, but hold on, that's just the beginning. This saga has more twists than a season finale. Is it possible that this legal mess could bring down the whole Combs empire? Stick with us as we break it down.
That they have the opportunity to continue to remind the public of the malfeasance of Diddy, of Diddy's son, of anything related to sexually inappropriate behavior, sexual assault. It helps. It helps the government continue to, lay out the narrative of how bad Diddy was, how bad Diddy's son was. So I think it's consistent with, what they've been doing, putting it out there and really destroying his character. I'm not saying that he didn't do anything to deserve it. I'm saying it's consistent with what they're doing, whether it's the government or the lawyers that are suing him civilly.
Bring his father to his knees?
Diddy's eldest son, Justin Combs, was arrested for a DUI on Sunday morning near Beverly Hills.
No juice.
The 29-year-old was pulled over by police after running how are you drunk at 9 in the morning? Was pulled after running a red light after a preliminary investigation, was cuffed on suspicion of driving under the influence. While further detail remains scarce, Justin was booked on a misdemeanor and DUI charge, and his bond was set at $5,000. After news of his arrest hit the headlines, Justin Combs' mother, Misa Hilton, took to her Instagram stories to fire off a series of angry messages aimed at Diddy. "I'm not protecting no one anymore, just my son," she began. The statement, "The fish rots from the head down," means that in addition to being a major contributing factor in a family or organization's success, leadership is also the root, because of its failure and demise, the truth shall set you free. Act bad, she added, referencing Puff's latest single with City Girls and Fabulous Act Bad, Bad Boy. "I used to want to be a bad girl. I chose to be a queen, tried and true. I'm not perfect, but I am intentional. I should have kept my child with me. You said LA too." Oh, she's bugging. She added, "Everybody can get it. How you go from one of the greatest to ever do it to making all of your money off alcohol and suing the damn alcohol company. Sell something healthy that builds people up. I'm sick of it, not mine. Everyone has to sit around for years and act like there isn't anything wrong with you." Hilton concluded her rant. "This is where the buck stops for me. If anything ever happened to my son, God forbid, what is anyone going to say to me when we all know whose fault it would be?"
Reports are coming out that Puff Daddy's oldest son, y'all, was arrested today, y'all, on DUI charges. This is what they're saying, y'all. It's a lot of people getting arrested for DUIs lately at the same time, y'all. So Diddy's eldest son, Justin Combs, was arrested for DUI charge this weekend in LA. This is what, sources is reporting, media outlets. Law enforcement sources tell us Justin was arrested Sunday morning near Beverly Hills after a cop saw a vehicle run a red light. And this occurred around 8 a.m. And the incident was also, shot by an eyewitness. So they recorded it, y'all. They recorded it. And pictures obtained by TMZ and, media outlets, you can see Justin interacting with the officer. So they put him in handcuffs and stuff, and he was arrested, y'all. We're told the officer initiated a traffic stop where Justin was found to be the driver. After a preliminary investigation, sources are telling, us that the cop felt there was enough, probable cause to handcuff him and haul him to jail on suspicion of driving under the influence, y'all.
Let's kick things off with Justin Combs, Diddy's firstborn. Over the weekend, Justin got pulled over in Beverly Hills for running a red light. And guess what? The officer smelled the booze. Yeah, you guessed it, DUI charges. He was cuffed on suspicion. But after a short time, he was released on a $5 OO bond. The media has been all over it. And the internet is freaking out about the latest in a string of Combs family legal woes. But here's the real tea. Misa Hilton, Justin's mom, took to social media and unleashed a fury of posts aimed at none other than Diddy. She said, "The fish rots from the head down," basically calling out Diddy's leadership in their family and blaming him for Justin's behavior. Ouch. Misa's rant pointed to Diddy's business decisions, his recent work with alcohol, and even his own questionable actions in the public eye. But what's really going on here? Is this just a case of one bad night for Justin? Or are we seeing a bigger family breakdown happening in real time?
It is an actual lawsuit filed by an attorney in federal court about Diddy and an alleged freak-off that went down in Miami in April 2015. So exactly 10 years ago. They say this was a party for Diddy's son, King Combs, but all the names involved here are huge. Huge. Talking Beyonce, Jay-Z, LeBron James. Now, all of those people are just witnesses, according to this lawsuit.
And strangely enough, Gloria Estefan.
The
rhythm is going to get you, Gloria Estefan.
Yes.
And her husband, Emilio.
Yes. And now, again, all witnesses. Emilio is actually a defendant in this lawsuit, along with Diddy. But here is the story as told by a man named Joseph Manzaro in this lawsuit that we obtained this morning. He says that he showed up at this party, or woke up at this party, and didn't understand how he got there, that he's insinuating clearly that he'd been drugged, but woke up and at one point saw Gloria Estefan and Emilio Estefan, and Gloria is saying, "Hey, we need to get him medical help because he's too drugged up.
Get an ambulance, get him out of here."
And according to Manzaro, Emilio steps in and says, "No, we're not doing that," and shoves Gloria out of the way, and then they take this guy through a tunnel from the Estefan's house to Diddy's home. Now, this is on Star Island in Miami. They do actually live near each other. So that part of it is, that's a fact that anybody can find.
Sure.
But what happened once he got into this party at Diddy's house is outrageous. And I know we're supposed to take every lawsuit seriously because we don't know, we weren't there. The Gloria Estefan part.
In an insider's take, DUI defense attorney.
Can criminal charges be dropped?
Really, the prosecutor's office is the only one who can drop charges. There's this misnomer that, we talked about domestic assault earlier, where husband and wife, been married 20 years, never had an incident, had too much to drink one night, something got out of hand. Look, we don't want the courts involved. We're good. Once that 911 call is made, it's too late. That ball is rolling. So, but can you get them dismissed? Yes, you can. And there's a few other ways to do it. A lot of times, we set things for trial. For appearance of essential witnesses, people don't appear. Like if someone doesn't want to prosecute, there's also a way to get them dismissed by just working the case up aggressively, taking the alleged victim's deposition, which is their sworn statement under oath, and challenging them on, their credibility, their history.
Well, I mean, your son is a grown-ass man at this point.
Yeah, that's dumb as fuck.
He's a grown-ass man.
But you know how it is with these younger. How old are you, Skinny?
27.
Okay, so you're not that generation. The younger generations, like that are currently like 23 and below, these fools are late-ass boomers.
Facts.
Who? Him?
All of them.
They are.
Especially someone that's super
I've seen
duper
it.
rich.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Super duper rich?
When you've been
No,
like
I'm saying
sheltered.
the late bloomer shit.
No,
When
the
you've
late
been
bloomer, but
sheltered?
imagine being
Older than
super
Skinner,
duper
Justin,
rich.
yeah.
My boy been
How old
chilling.
is he?
Damn near 30, right?
Oh, this was 29?
Yeah, but Justin damn near 30.
Kid.
Well, he's still
29,
coddled being
and
a little
she's
rich boy,
blaming
you know what I'm
She's
saying?
blaming his dad that this
Which
nigga's
is
gonna
cool.
be 30. Bro,
Bro,
I
he
get
a
it. When
fuck.
you're a teenager, yes, I feel like how the way you act is mainly environment, you feel me, who raised you, and a little bit of genetics. Feel me? Environment, where you was raised, how you was raised, and a little bit of genetics. So once you get to a certain age, bro, you an adult. Yeah, you were raised by your environment, but now it comes a point in your age, bro, where you got to take it upon yourself to fix whatever you feel like may be lacking mental wise. If you got to go get some therapy, whatever you got to do. Once you're an adult, it's up to you to fix that shit. You can't blame that shit on your parents after you get a certain age, bro. Like, you just got to get it together, you know? You can't keep blaming your parents or how they raised you when you're fucking 30.
And he could have hurt somebody.
That's a fact. He could
I
definitely
don't
could have
fuck
killed
with
somebody.
DUIs.
Facts.
I
I've
just-
never driven drunk.
Like, you just don't do that.
I've never driven drunk. I don't need to.
do
I
you mean?
don't drink once.
I've never been caught drinking and driving.
You bug.
You're putting everybody at risk when you
You
do
finna
that.
kill everybody.
I don't get drunk, though. I just be having, like...
But yo, hold up. This isn't just about a DUI. It's deeper than that. Justin's arrest comes right on the heels of a federal raid on Diddy's house earlier this year. Yep, March 25th. Helicopters circling his mansions as two of his sons were briefly detained by law enforcement. Christian Combs, Diddy's second son, was also wrapped up in the drama due to some pretty explosive allegations. He's currently the subject of a civil lawsuit for sexual assault filed by a woman named Grace Omar. The lawsuit claims that Christian assaulted her on a yacht rented by none other than Diddy himself. This is where it gets crazy. Diddy is a co-defendant in this case because Grace says he facilitated the whole thing. Imagine that people, Diddy, the man who's been building an empire for decades, is now facing serious allegations that could potentially tear apart his legacy. But it's not just Christian in the hot seat. Some people are wondering, could these legal issues eventually bring Diddy to his knees? Is this just the beginning of a much bigger scandal brewing? I mean, when you've got FBI agents raiding homes, it's not a good look outright.
Audio recordings, and we know how powerful video evidence is. We've talked about it with Cassie Ventura and how that really maybe even shift the direction of this case entirely, because of course Combs denied everything until CNN got a hold of that video in May. And we're talking about a lawsuit that was filed in April, I believe. And again, I don't know if it's true, but the allegations are that much of this was recorded in this audio recordings. And if so, and she's saying no, and Christian is moving forward anyway, when you have attempted sexual assault.
Talking about audio and video recordings, that's what's huge in this case. I mean, we heard a lot about it from Cassie and her lawsuit, then of course Lil Rod, and now confirmed in the federal indictment that the feds are saying, yep, we've got some, and that's what led to this indictment and his charges. But what's interesting is that in Lil Rod's lawsuit, he actually has photos, like screenshots of a recording of Justin Combs, and he says it's allegedly with a sex worker. Do you think that part is incriminating too, that the feds may be looking at that recording?
I do. And during Combs' initial appearance before the new Judge Subramanian, there was some discussion of this, and Christian and Justin were in court as well, supporting their father. But the feds were talking about the 96 different electronic devices they seized and the terabytes and terabytes of data. Now, some of it might not be relevant, but some of it may be very much on point, because going back to Cassie's original allegation, Combs reportedly recorded many of these sex acts.
And just when we thought things couldn't get more complicated, they did. Christian's civil case alleges that he was involved in a sexual assault, but it's all tied to Diddy's yacht. And this is where the web really starts to tangle. Diddy is accused of enabling the whole thing, which adds another layer to his already rocky legal situation. What does this mean for his family? Well, aside from the fact that Justin is already dealing with his DUI fallout, Christian's situation could turn into a nightmare. And let's not forget the FBI raids, which might reveal even more about Diddy's operations than we ever thought possible. It seems like the Combs family can't catch a break. First, Justin with the DUI, then Christian with the assault allegations, and now this whole scandal that involves Diddy himself. It's like the Combs empire is crumbling right before our eyes.
Look at the docket. And it says that on November 19, 2024, There was proof of service by posting. This was filed by Grace O'Markey. And also on November 19, 2024, it says proof of service by posting filed by Grace O'Markey as to Christian Combs, the defendant. And then it talks about the service costs and it talks about the mailing date. The mailing date was apparently October 23rd, 2024. So what's interesting about that is, and again, if I'm reading it correctly, isn't that a long period of time between filing and proof of service, unless I'm missing something?
It is, but there are situations where people could be evading service. You can't find them, and what you really want is personal service. And posting basically means that they literally did that. They posted the lawsuit, and there's some states that allow for posting. There's some states that allow for substitute service, and there's some states that allow for posting only after you've made certain requisite attempts. So it's very possible that they had been trying to personally serve them, they gave up, and then they went ahead and posted it. It is rare to see that many months pass, but you have multiple defendants in this case, and I believe that they filed it. It was in the media. They're working on it, so it isn't completely that rare to see this many months pass. When you're dealing with celebrity clients, you're dealing with clients that have a layer of security that prohibits you from actually serving them like you would a regular person.
Jesse, great to be on as always. And I guess better late than never when it comes to the Department of Justice. But really, 1 month before trial is late. And that's why accompanying the superseding indictment, the third superseding indictment, is a letter to the court essentially saying, this doesn't change anything. We've already produced the evidence in discovery. We've produced the witness statements, the victim statements under the Jenks Act. So Diddy and his team, they have everything because they know the judge is probably going to give them a hard time for this indictment so close to the trial. Now, we know that Diddy doesn't want to push the trial because he's in custody without bail. But typically, if you go to the grand jury this late, this is a very good excuse and a reason for the defense to ask for a continuance.
Absolutely. And I think it would have been granted. I really think it would have been granted. Now, not saying that's what they're going to do here. And I'll get into the defense's response or lack thereof, which I think is interesting. But now I want to get into the indictment. So, first of all, this new indictment makes the same overall claim, quote, and a prior superseding indictment updated the date range for the allegations against Combs, pushing it back from 2008 to 2004, claiming that between 2004 and 2024 is what's referred to as Combs' enterprise committed various crimes like arson, kidnapping, drug possession. And to convict Combs on the racketeering charge, the government is relying on trying to prove these underlying crimes that were committed in furtherance of the enterprise. All this is going on. Diddy's son, Christian King Combs, just announced that he is taking over his father's Instagram. And he posted this video message to Diddy's almost 20 million followers.
What's up, y'all? It's King Combs. And right now I'm taking over my pop's Instagram. We're going to be posting videos by spreading, good energy and taking y'all down memory lane and all the positive things he did. So stay tuned and watch this. Let's go. We love you, Pops. Happy birthday.
Now, this, of course, is in relation for the fact that it was just Sean Combs' 55th birthday. His children, in fact, posted a video of them wishing their father a happy birthday while you can hear him in the background as he's on the call at the Metropolitan Detention Center. I said this before, it was the first time we actually heard Sean Combs' voice since all of this went down, since his arrest and his indictment. First, it was the music video for Diddy's 1997 hit, It's All About the Benjamins. Then there was a post featuring the 1998 music video for Victory. That actual video, he's kind of running away from law enforcement and authorities. And the latest post, at least at the time of this recording,
adding to the intrigue, former bodyguard Gene Deal recently hinted in an exclusive interview.
Let's go back to Misa Hilton. Though Justin's mom, who took to social media to call out Diddy in a series of posts, she straight up accused him of being the reason for Justin's lack of stability. Misa said, "The fish rots from the head down." She's implying that Diddy's bad choices are trickling down to his kids. That's a pretty powerful accusation coming from the mother of his child, right? Here's where it gets even more interesting. Misa went in on Diddy's alcohol business, claiming that he's making money off alcohol and other questionable ventures. Sell something healthy that builds people up, she added. And I can't lie, there's some real truth in what she's saying. Diddy's brand has shifted a lot over the years, and some fans are wondering if he's really contributing to his family's success or just out here hustling to fill his own pockets.
I think that that's going to be hard to prove that they're his weapons. They're going to have to prove that they was his weapons because he had other grown people living in there. And plus, that house, I believe, was in a corporation name. So they're going to have to get maids, butlers, cleaning people, or somebody that's in that house to have a daily contact to say that was his room that they found those weapons in. And then the weapons wasn't operable. You had to put them together, as far as I know, for them to be operable. So he may have had weapons there, or he may not. One of his sons, he got sons. Somebody's gonna have to claim it. They just put it on him. Anything they found in the house, they just put it on him. But they had to prove that that was him. If other people were living in the house, other people had access to that room that they found the weapons in. Now, it's not illegal to have those weapons, but it's illegal to deface those weapons. And that's what the person and the penalty of the individual they may have. One of his sons might take it. Oh, that was me. Oh, Christian might take it. Christian want to be a gangster. He a gangster, right? He might take it.
Again, that was count one in the second superseding indictment. But now, Combs is facing a new individual sex trafficking charge against victim 2. And it reads, quote, Nima, why do this? Why create this separate charge for victim 2?
Jesse, the reason you want to create a separate charge for victim 2 is because you have that and language. And again, I'm not saying this is highly likely, but it's a possibility. The government's saying that Diddy sex trafficked victim 1, 2, and 3. Well, for some reason, the jurors think that Diddy sex trafficked 3, but not 2. You're going to get a not guilty on that count. So they separated it out, really out of an abundance of caution.
Now, let's talk about Justin's DUI. The whole situation wasn't as simple as a guy getting caught after running a red light. With all the celebrity influence and legal resources at his disposal, Justin's case didn't end up with him behind bars. DUI defense attorney Randall Innes gave us some insight into how celebrity cases like this can be dodged with the right defense strategy. Essentially, Justin avoided serious jail time through a deal. But does this mean Diddy's sons can always escape the consequences of their actions? Could Diddy's legal team help him the same way they got Justin off the hook? It's an interesting question, especially when we look at Diddy's more serious charges. We've heard about sex trafficking, racketeering, and forced labor, but will his team be able to pull off the same tricks for him that Justin used? Can Diddy escape this whole mess the way his son did? The plot continues to thicken. People
niggas don't respect you enough to listen to you. What are you talking about? After when they found Twist 12 hours, niggas was gonna blow his brains up. That's Twist, do you understand it? This a vid? No.
Bro, this is archive. Nobody, this ain't going out nowhere.
That's cool. It's a call, bro. That's cool. Like you said, niggas don't respect your call, my nigga. Okay, you bro, that's just pulling his call, bro. Niggas say you not from the block, my nigga. Where you from? I'm from Mount Vernon, okay? And what's up, nigga? What's up? So shake it then. Yo, talking way too much. You doing too much, bro. You doing way too much. I'm not turning down the shut up, bro. Come over here, nigga.
Niggas is classic.
Well, it's significant because anytime that they have the opportunity to continue to remind the public of the malfeasance of Diddy, of Diddy's son, of anything related to sexually inappropriate behavior, sexual assault, it helps. It helps the government continue to, lay out the narrative of how bad Diddy was, how bad Diddy's son was. So I think it's consistent with, what they've been doing. putting it out there and really destroying his character. I'm not saying that he didn't do anything to deserve it. I'm saying it's consistent with what they're doing, whether it's the government or the lawyers that are suing him civilly.
Folks, this story is far from over. The Combs family saga continues to unfold, and the stakes couldn't be higher as Diddy and his sons face mounting legal battles. We're left wondering, is the empire about to crumble? Will Diddy find a way out of these charges, or is the Combs legacy going down in flames? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay ahead of all the developments in this wild story. Catch you next time!